This is what I would do if I was looking for a job in the current market.
Over the last few months, I've spoken to a number of talented, experienced women who've been made redundant. Some have found new roles within weeks, and others have really struggled and have applied for hundreds and hundreds of jobs and haven't even been invited for an interview. And that got me thinking, what's the difference between these two groups? So my name is Alan Ford. I'm an inclusion consultant, and I help organisations and sectors to build truly inclusive workplace cultures. I also help individuals to have thriving careers. And this is one of the ways in which I do it, through my professional communities. And so last week, one of my communities called The Collective, we were talking about recruitment, and we explored this very topic. And I wanted to share a few of the things I'd do if I was looking for work today, because it's a very different environment. The first one is get really clear on your transferable skills. Don't define yourself by your job title or the sector you've worked in. Think about it. Instead, ask yourself, what am I genuinely good at? Maybe it's stakeholder engagement, project management, or even governance or compliance, communication, marketing, leadership, relationship building even. Those skills are valuable across a lot of different sectors, and this is what you need to understand. Focus on the value you bring, not just the roles that you've had. So that's number one, which I think is really important. Number two, be more targeted. I know it's really tempting to apply for everything, especially when you're struggling, you're worried about paying your bills, and you're wanting to find this next role. But I'd actually narrow down my search. I'd narrow it down. Which sectors generally interest me? That's what I've been thinking about. What kind of organisations do I really want to work for? What type of role really excites me? And this is really important for me. I really want to feel excited about the roles that I'm applying for. So when you're applying for roles you genuinely care about, it just shows. It shows in your application. And so think about that. How could you narrow down your search? The third thing I'd do is to tailor every single application. And I know this sounds, obvious. Your CV shouldn't just tell people what you've done. It should show the impact you've had, and it should be tailored to the role you're applying for. Use examples, use numbers and stats. People love to see that. Talk about the change that you've created, and yes, use AI to help refine your application. But make sure your experiences, your voice, your achievements are still at the centre of it and are written about in your own voice. Don't make it sound too AI. Number 4, build relationships, not just applications. Get out there. If there's an opportunity to connect with someone at an organisation, do it. If you're applying for work in a certain sector, try to go along to any events you can find. But also send thoughtful LinkedIn messages. Maybe you did go to an event and you saw someone speak, you can reach out to them. So attend more events, ask good questions. Applications can get lost, but relationships are always remembered, and you want to find ways to make your application and your name really stand out. Finally, and this is really important, don't let rejection define your confidence. We do a lot of work around confidence building in my communities as well. This job market is so tough right now, and for many women, especially those who are over 45, and particularly black women, there can be additional barriers linked to age, gender and race, and we can't ignore that. But it doesn't mean you have to stop looking. That doesn't reduce your value. It means you need to keep working on the two things at the same time. And I'm going to be working on those too. I really want to help employers to create fairer recruitment practices, and I want to help those women who are navigating today's world of work, which, as I said, is very different. And I really want to help them to work on their confidence, their clarity, and also very practical strategies. And that's why I wrote Navigating Crossroads, my book, which tells the stories of 10 black women, and why I've also created Navigating Crossroads Pathway, which is a programme to help people who are currently maybe looking at different areas of work, want to change their experience. So if you're currently looking for work, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned during your job search that might help somebody else? Because I do think, again, communities can really help each other, and sharing expertise is so important. I'd love to hear from you. Write something in the comments, or do feel free to DM me.